All right, boys, another month down in the markets, and this time we're looking at July 2022. Now, as we can see, the NASDAQ was all right during this month. We actually started to get a little bit of an uptrend, kind of choppy, but you know, the 10 is above the 20 for most of this month, so I was trading, looking for trades. Now, let's get into the best trades that I saw in this month. And kicking it off with SEGA. Now, like I said, I was trading this month, so I actually took most of these trades you're going to see today, so I'm excited. Let's get into it. Now, as we can see, this stock is making a big move right here. The moving averages are all heading upwards, and then it started to get very tight right here. This is when it got my attention, and I started paying very close watch to this bad boy. And then I actually took a position on this day. Now, normally this would be a little bit concerning, but as we can see, we had a huge gap up back into the range, and then that day it started breaking out on some pretty good volume in the first hour of the day, so I decided to get in on this, and it has been a great trade so far. So I sold half my position right here on this day, just a little bit early, but to be honest, during this market, I'm not trying to hold things for a long time, so I sold half here, and I'm going to be holding the rest of my position until we close below that 10-day. But yeah, the chart looked great, the stock has a good story behind it, got very tight, so this was a nice trade this month. And next we have EDU, something out of the China sector, which was doing decent in July. So let's go ahead and see what I was looking at. I actually took this trade back here, then got stopped out for around a 5% gain here, but it started to continue surfing these moving averages, got very tight right here, and I started watching again. So I actually took a position here on this day, but I do not like to hold full positions going into earnings, especially in this environment, so I went ahead and sold half right here the day before, but it survived earnings, and now it is behaving very nicely, so I'll be holding the rest of my position going until we close below the 10-day, of course. Next up, we have ENPH. Now, this is a little bit different type of setup here, but as you can see, this stock looks really good on the weekly. I mean, a clear uptrend. It's chopped around, survived pretty decent during these market conditions, and then it started getting tighter here following these uptrends on the weekly chart. So on this day, when it had a great reaction to earnings, I got in on the stock yesterday, and then I actually sold a third of my position right here as it started to break down on the 5-minute, just to kind of take some profits, because I'm still very weary in this market and I don't trust it all that much. But I'm going to hold the rest until we close below the 10-day or it takes a big gain. This is a nice little baby EP kind of trade right here, and one that a lot of people were watching because it did get very tight before. Next, we have TRMD. Now, I did not participate in this trade, but it ended up being a pretty nice trade, pretty decent, because, you know, this stock made a nice base here, started its move up around 70-80%, and then it got really choppy through here, but, you know, it bounced around the 50-day, came straight back up, then got tight, and then as we can see, it gapped up a couple days ago, and it is behaving pretty nicely. So we'll see how this one turns out, but hopefully some of you guys caught this. I did not. Next, we have HHS. Now, I did not take this trade. I do not know the story on the stock, but the technicals look good. We have a nice flat base, starts its move, and then this is some really weird price action, but it's following and surfing that 20-day perfectly. Got very tight, clean breakout day, and then it was actually up around 20% before today, and it started coming back very hard today, but maybe we'll get another setup on this stock later. But overall, a decent trade. Next, we have TMDX. So this is another one out of the medical sector here, and it put in a pretty nice range as it's continually surfing these moving averages. I decided to pass on it because it has earnings coming up and it's not the cleanest, but it definitely has been a good trade so far if you caught the breakout on this day, and it's moving upwards, so hopefully some of you guys got this one. And our next stock here is KDNY. Now, this one I was watching and I actually took a position on because, as we can see, it's kind of at this big range here on the weekly. It doesn't look great, but it's been strong in the past couple months or so, and it got a very tight range, so I bought in on this day yesterday, but I actually just got stopped out for around a 3% loss. So, and I didn't have a big position, so not bad, but it was a decent trade to be watching, and we need to be looking for these, and maybe this will set up later above this range here, and it could be a decent trade. But yeah, guys, let me know what trades that you took, or if there's any setups that I missed from this month. Make sure to let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.